Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT rostermania. Finally, the full confirmation has come through from NRG as to what their roster will be for the 2023 season. But the big question is, how does it stack up against the opposition? Can it be anywhere near as good as last season's OpTic team? Will it be significantly worse? And if it is, how will they fare against the other top teams in North America? Very much enjoy your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thanks very much indeed for doing that one. Plenty to discuss today. Firstly, on the Sao Paulo VALORANT event that's coming up in February, just because the major right now is going on in Rio. And look, the crowd is absolutely immense when a Brazilian team is playing, right? We've seen, I think one of the reasons for the crowd being so lackluster when there's no Brazilian teams on is that there's some sort of like fanfare going on outside. And understandably, maybe the teams or the fans would much prefer to be out there with, I don't know, each other and the Brazilian players or whatever's going on out there than actually be in the venue itself. But yeah, today the major final is on, and it might not look so good in terms of attendance and turnout here because Furia were knocked out last night by Heroic, and so it's an interesting one, right? Wonder what this is going to mean for the Sao Paulo event in a few months' time. Will the crowd only turn out for, you know, the Brazilian teams, or will they support everyone? It's kind of tough to say. I think the fan bases between CSGO and VALORANT are a little bit different anyway, so that might change the course. But look, we'll see, because I think this event has maybe shown some things in terms of what Riot might have to think about come at February and that Sao Paulo event. Quick comment on TSM, just because we saw the other day this whole FTX drama that's been taking over the world right now. Everyone's talking about it. And, well, basically they collapsed, filed for bankruptcy, this type of stuff. Even Mercedes Formula 1 took their logos off their cars this weekend at the Brazilian Grand Prix, or the Sao Paulo Grand Prix, just because of all this drama going on. Now, we know that TSM and FTX had a $210 million deal over the next decade. That's lasted maybe 2 years before it's now collapsed. Now, TSM have kind of reassured everyone to say, yes, we're still, we've still got liquidity, it's still okay, we have no insight into the matter, etc., etc. Currently consulting legal counsel to determine the best next steps for, team, staff, fans, players, etc. To be clear, TSM is built on a solid foundation. We are stable and profitable, and we continue to forecast profitability for this year, next year, and beyond. We look forward to a great year in 2023. So they reckon they're fine, they've got the money, no issues with this FTX whole situation. Of course, maybe they are just going to say this because they kind of have to comment on it, I suppose. So, look, we'll see if any of this actually plays out in reality. But they're saying, yeah, look, they've got the money. They can still support the VALORANT ecosystem, and we believe they're going to have a tier 2 roster in Ascension, which is probably going to be announced in due course as well. Quick comment on the guard, because the same thing for them. We did wonder where Valen was going to go. He was briefly linked, actually, to Evil Geniuses. Turns out that wasn't the case, and it was BCJ that joined in that situation instead. So Valen is going to stay. He's up for a nomination for esports. Is it Rookie of the Year, maybe? On the PC side of things, and the guard are still, pushing pretty hard for people to vote for him here. So yeah, probably implies that the guard Valen is still going to be a thing next season. They lost Sire player, of course, to T1. Most of their other guys are going to stick around. Trent didn't get nabbed for some reason by a pro team. So, well, at least by a tier 1 team. So he's going to stay on the guard. We imagine they're going to run it back with a large percentage of their roster from the previous season. Let's talk NRG then. Confirmed it last night. Finally, what the roster's going to be. There was some speculation whether some would actually come back or whether there was going to be a surprise in store. But indeed, with all the other guys coming out of the cryogenic chamber, whatever's going on here, they bring SoM through, and he's going to close out the roster. SoM, a bit of a controversial player, right? Certainly a good player, but known more maybe for his streaming personality than his in-game ability. I think he's solid. The team wants to play with him for sure, but they might have had some other players they would have preferred to play with based on the situation. The FNS and SoM get on very well though, so I'm sure that's going to be a good relationship there, and this team can be pretty good. The thing is though, everyone is going to compare this team, understandably, to the previous OpTic gaming iteration from last season that won a lot of stuff, came second at the World Championship, and this NRG team is arguably just a straight up downgrade, right? Now, of course, it's not easy to say that theoretically, just because you never really know how their chemistry is going to work. SoM, maybe he just turns up with this particular lineup, maybe Ardiis is just different level, but still, they've got FNS, they've got Victor, they've got Crashies, the same core 3 as last season. They've lost Ye though, they've brought Ardiis in instead as his replacement, they've lost Marved, and they've brought SoM in as his replacement instead. There's an argument to say that SoM could be better suited to a different role. He's going to play here the controller, and that then officially rounds out the team. So Ardiis and SoM join the squad. Super happy with the team, as Chet says here. Can't wait to show you guys what we can do next season. Then, of course, yeah, this is the full roster image. So FNS the IGL, SoM on the left-hand side, Ardiis, Chet as the coach, and then, of course, Crashies and Victor Food rounding out the team. And even some further comments here from FNS. Practice is going to be a disaster, he says. So definitely you wanted to share a couple of moments of clips here from FNS talking about this team and their decision-making. Firstly, on the Ye and Ardiis stuff, because we heard from FNS FNS a couple of weeks ago, a few days ago now, that there was some internal issues within the OpTic camp last season. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows from start to finish. Yeah, 6'2", yeah. Sure, mate, I'm sure that's absolutely legitimate. But yeah, we heard him say that, yeah, like Ye might have chosen to leave, right? And we saw that Ye even said before Champions even began that there were interesting times ahead. I think that probably Marv had let known to them that probably he wasn't going to compete or was considering stepping away from a season, as of course he has. And as he says, look, can I be the assistant coach? You can be the head coach, Chet says. But yeah, we don't think Marv is going to, maybe Marv joins NRG as like a content guy or something. Who knows what happens there? But for now, Marv just going to step away. So look, it was clear to OpTic that Ye might not be an option, largely because of the buyout, right? There's been some discussions. Was it the buyout that prevented Ye from joining NRG with the other guys? Or was it the fact that he wanted to leave and wanted a new challenge anyway? And FNS says, I mean, yeah, look, the buyout situation was ridiculous. Probably NRG weren't going to be able to handle it anyway on their own. He reckons the buyout of Ye was the same as the other guys combined. And then on top of that, you've then got potential replacement considerations and also how good these other teams are going to be next season.
So when we came back from Istanbul, we kind of knew that Jake wasn't going to be with us anymore. And we knew that Jimmy was on the fence about playing. So we were like, all right, well, you know, because me, Austin, and Vic wanted to stick together no matter what. And ideally the whole roster sticks together, but buyouts don't allow for that. And Ye alone is probably, I think his buyout was, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, so, but whatever, who cares? I'm pretty sure his buyout was like literally similar to all three of us combined. So, because of that, it makes it difficult for a whole roster to move to a different org. And so we knew that Ye was probably not going to be a part of the roster going forward. Just realistically, it wasn't going to work out. But then we, you know, we're like, all right, well, who can we replace Jake with? You know? And then we were like, all right, we made a whole list. And Ardiis was on top of our list. And luckily for us, we were able to get him. We get along, well, we all get along really well with him. Because he has a really, like, sort of an extroverted personality. And he's funny as hell, so he gets along very well with all. Okay, it's really hard to understand him right now, but once you talk to, okay, so the first day I met him, it was kind of hard, like very difficult, but then like I know for a fact over time I will start to understand. He speaks really quickly is the thing, you know? So a lot of players, like obviously you guys, as you should, you guys have like a lot of opinions on like teams in NA, like how people are going to perform and all that, blah, blah. But I actually think that next year, in terms of just because it's franchising and like you literally have created, basically every org has created the best possible team that they think they can create. The games are going to be so close, I feel like. Like, I feel like anyone can literally win. More so than any other time in Valorant. Because this is what every org was waiting for. Like every single org from the beginning of this game was waiting for franchising to invest into Valorant. And the first 2 years were just to see who's actually good and who's not. That's it, like players wise, individually. So up until right now, none of this has mattered.
So this is what we saw from Ye before Champions, right? Interesting times ahead after Champs, implying that something was happening. And Ye maybe at this point had already thought that maybe if OpTic don't get through, is he going to leave basically and go elsewhere? Was he considering that option anyway, just because maybe, you know, internally, and the team did well, then they fell off a little bit. They looked good at the end of the game, but they weren't quite as good as they maybe were before at their peak level. Maybe Ye was already considering potentially joining some other guys. Turns out the buyout situation probably allowed that to happen more easily because there was a low chance he was going to be going to NRG with those other guys as well. So what about the replacements then? Ardiis for Ye. Ardiis was great at the end of last season. I think FNS did actually mention the comms thing, because although Ardiis is like part British, like he talks rather fast. I don't know, I'm not familiar with anyone who talks fast, so I can't really comment on that too much. But I mean, yeah, Ardiis, I think FNS was even saying that understanding it was a bit of a challenge at first, but I'm sure they'll get there. He at least speaks good English, obviously, so that shouldn't really be an issue. Can he perform at the Ye level? I don't know. It's difficult to say. Obviously, Ardiis was great great last season, but Ye is built different. He's the hardest player arguably to play against in the world right now. And, you know, look, you can't upgrade from Ye. That just is how it is. You can get close probably, but you can't upgrade from Ye. So that's got to be a downgrade, no matter really how you see it, unfortunately. And then the other side is the s0m situation, right? I mean, Marved to s0m. I mean, look, s0m might be good in that particular role, but Marved was the best controller player in the world, and certainly in North America at some time. So, I mean, yeah, there's just no doubt that that also has to be a downgrade. Now, yes, this team is a downgrade on paper from the OpTic team, but can they still be just as good, if not even better, potentially? I don't know. I somehow doubt it. But look, still, intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. They've lost a lot of their kind of superstar clutch ability, I think. By losing Ye is not ideal. They've got a great replacement, but it's never ideal losing Ye, obviously. And then, you know, can s0m really deliver what Marv did for the team? It seems kind of unlikely as well, especially with all the other teams looking so good. Zekan is commenting on this crazy clip here from Pancada where he was delivering the goods. Then you've got even this from Bang here just discussing the 100 Thieves team in general, because look, we know that they're also going to be solid. They were great last season, have the chemistry built up. They've done an upgrade as well with Ye through to Cryo. So yeah, how do you think this NRG team is going to fare, right? Because on paper they were downgrade from OpTic. The other teams around them, you know, 100 Thieves, Sentinels have got better, Cloud9 as well. So how good are NRG going to be in that region? Are they even going to be able to be the best team in North America? This is the tier list here that George Geddes puts together. Of course, like, this may be absolutely terrible, but it's probably at least reasonable enough. NRG he's put in the S tier along with DRX, Fnatic, Cloud9 and Na'Vi. But interesting to me that in the North American side he's got, you know, Sentinels, he's got Loud, he's got 100 Thieves in the A tier and NRG are in the S tier in his opinion. So definitely intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Where do you think NRG will end up next season? Is there any chance they were as good as their previous iteration of the roster, or will this be downhill from here? Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.